Assalamualaikum, Professor Nordin. Are you okay now?
Tak dengar. Kita tak dengar.
I'm sorry, Professor, but you are currently still muted.
Mute.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you, Professor.
So now I have to restart again. I think I lost by the time when I was trying to. Suddenly it's blue screen. My computer went blue screen. I was trying to restart the computer, but I couldn't. So this type of thing happened. When was I don't know, what was the last point I mentioned?
You were telling about the fall of Usmani Empire.
Okay, the fall of Ottoman Empire. Okay, after the fall of Ottoman Empire in the First World War. If you have opportunity, please read about the First World War. It's very interesting history where after the loss of Ottoman Empire in 1923, the loss of First World War actually was the impetus of the breakdown of Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire left with what the Republic of Turkey now, only very small compared to the empire that they had. But the most significant thing was we lost the leading role in the Caliphate, and the Industrial Revolution that started about 200 years ago, and they were trying to bring down the empire, the Ottoman Empire, for a very long time, and they wanted, I'm talking about the Europe, wanted to take the lead. And the first Industrial Revolution was among the cause of the fall of Ottoman Empire. Why? Because of they managed to acquire the technology, and they surpassed the productivity of the Ottoman Empire in terms of economy. So we lost it because of the technology, and since then we spiraled down and became at the bottom, and we are very lagging behind the West. So what happened in Malaysia? I just try to explain about the history of higher education in Malaysia. The first university in Malaysia actually University Malaya. The second was University of USM, established in 1969, and then UPM 1970, UKM in 1971, and UTM 1972. The first university that offered engineering program that available for more people actually was UTM in 1972. As the original name of UTM was ITK, Institute Teknologi Kebangsaan. That's the campus that you are now attending the convention. So UTM now is 50 years old. 50 years old is very young. It's very young as a higher education institution compared to the establishment of Oxford University in 1076, if I'm not mistaken. So they are already 1096. So they are already 1,000 years ago. The first four universities in Europe, actually, Bologna, Bologna in Italy, and then Oxford in England, and then University of Paris now, used to be Sorbonne University in Paris, France, and number 4 was Salamanca University in Spain. And these are the people, they established universities in these countries. Actually, they first received their education, the scholars who established the universities in Spain, in Italy, in England, actually they received their education during the time of Andalusia in Spain, and they went back to their respective countries and established the universities. So 1,000 years, universities that make what the education in the West now. So 50 years is very, very young. However, we as the baby boomers in Malaysia, we have done our role. We have established the universities, we have established the programs, we established apart from these 5 universities, we established other universities. More engineering programs and science technology programs are offered in many universities in Malaysia. as I mentioned, the establishment of UKM in 1971 was very, it was an earmark, it was a landmark establishment because it was the first university that used Bahasa Malaysia as Bahasa Melayu as the language of instruction. The university, the UM, although they already have engineering programs, but none of the Malays or Muslims can enter the university in UM to do engineering and science because the entry requirement actually is Form 6 HSC, which was not accessible at all to the Muslims and Malay at that time. So only after the establishment of UM, using after the establishment of UKM and UTM 1971 and 72, that opened the opportunities for the Muslim at that time, for the Malay at that time to enter the higher education because they were using Malay language. The first Malay, and that practically at that time, the only supply from high school was Sekolah Alam Shah, because at that time the boarding schools existent at that time was FCKK, STAS, DA, RMC, TKC, and SSP, STF. But all of these schools use English except Alam Shah that use Malay, and those who graduated HSC, STPM, and from Alam Shah, they went to UKM to study, and these were the pioneers of many universities in Malaysia to establish sciences and engineering programs. UTM was the first university that established engineering and technology program. Universities like UKM, UPM, and USM only opened their engineering programs in 1980. Okay, several years later, and of course the establishment of IUM and other universities much later started to offer sciences and engineering programs in Malaysia. So we're talking about 20-30 years of history, but yet we are proud of the quality of education in Malaysia. I think we're offering high quality of world standard in Malaysia. Many international students come to Malaysia to study, and if we attend international forum everywhere in the world, especially among the Muslims, they will look up at Malaysia and the quality of our education. And whenever there is a task force regarding science and technology, Malaysia is always ahead and requested to lead the task force or whatever that related to science and innovation. So we are here. What I'm relating is actually the role of your fathers. But now you as British youth, you are the youth, the current generation in our country should continue this struggle to take Malaysia to next level. You have to bring more people to be active in British. You should establish more British clubs, British youth club with other institutions. You should champion the cause of sciences that bring prosperity to mankind. I congratulate the team, British youth, and also the advisors to organize this convention. It's very important to know each other and learn from each other, and you should also have the motivation, really fire up your motivation to work harder. Although in our circumstances now it's very difficult to meet physically, but I think the most important is your motivation and move forward together. You have all the energy, you have all the innovation, you have the different kind of imagination compared to our generation, and I think you can move much faster. People, like I mentioned, maybe I mentioned it during this was cut off. People take things for granted. The phones that we use, the software, the hardware, the technology that we have within us, all are invented by others. The innovation, why they in the first place, can invent something, always something new, wearable, something that was non-existent 10 years ago. Now all of us wearing smart watches that monitor our heart rate and whatnot. And what else? We should think of what comes next. What are needed next, rather than we just follow whatever other people. I was reading the innovation of WhatsApp. All of us using WhatsApp. How in the first place um, um, he invented WhatsApp. So very simple reason, he wanted to have something in the message in the phone saying that other people, to tell other people what he is doing at that time. For example, you cannot contact me because I am busy or I am at the gym. That was the only motivation at that time. But later on, the innovation um, expanded, and more investment come in, and he managed to uh, invent something more useful for other people, and he later sell WhatsApp to Facebook at, I think, about 20 billion. So it's still, I don't know, it's $5 billion. It's very valuable invention, innovation. So we cannot remain as users forever. I think we should be the innovators. The Muslims in Andalusia were the innovators. They're the one who think how to solve things, how to solve the salat, timing, the direction of Qibla. These were their motivation. So what are our motivation now to solve things around us? So that should be the way of thinking in the future. So you are our hope, the youth. So you cannot rely anymore on us because we are living this world. I think we have done our part. We established the foundation um, for the growth, the institutions. We inherit you with reasonably good platforms for you to move forward. Although we know that there are many weaknesses still, but we are somewhere already in terms of infrastructure and facilities, as well as level of education. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for inviting me to this session. I wish you very best of luck, very best in your endeavor in British youth. So here, thereby I'm declaring the convention, the Youth British Convention Grand. Sorry, I forgot to mention Grand Convention, British Youth Grand Convention 2.0. Okay, close. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Nurdin. So yeah, that's the speech from Professor Nurdin. So I hope it will motivate us as the young generation and as the future Muslim scientists to continue developing the foundation that has been created by the generation before us. So once again, thank you very much, Professor. And now
I can leave now.
yeah, sure, Professor. Thank you very much.
Okay. So hold on. Just trying to find the button.
Okay, now